record. Okay, the last thing we did was parallel lines. Okay, we finished this, and now we're on the second objective. We already finished parallel lines, and now we're on perpendicular lines. So we did all this. For people who weren't here, we went through all this already. We went through this already. And the last thing we did, we finished all these questions, right? So we're on to perpendicular lines now. Okay. Before we start this though, can anybody tell me, anybody who was here last class, can you tell me when two lines are perpendicular, when two lines are parallel, M1 and M2, how are they related?
They're equal.
They're equal. Good job. Okay, that's all I needed you to answer. All right. Consider the red. Okay, so let's see red and blue line. I'll change that. Consider the red and blue line below and suppose that they have gradients M1 and M2 respectively. So the red line has the gradient M1 and then the blue line, that was kind of purple. Anyways, blue line, gradient M2. If two lines are perpendicular, then the product of their gradients, if two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradients is -1. So unlike parallel lines where the gradients are equal, in this case, their products equal -1. Right. So looking at this, the first equation, y is equal to 2x plus 3. And then for the blue line, y is equal to -1/2x minus 5. In this case, M1, so the gradient of the red line is 2. Remember, because, hold on, this is the general equation of a straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c. And m is the gradient. M is the gradient. So if my equation is y is equal to 2x plus 3, 2 is my gradient. And that's why I said that M1 is 2. Same thing for the other equation. Y is equal to -1/2 x minus 5. And by looking at that, we could tell that the gradient in this case is -1/2. And that's why I have M2 is -1/2. And since M1 times M2 is equal to -1, let me show you. M1 we said is 2 times M2, which is -1/2. If we multiply these two, my 2's would cancel, and my answer would be equal to -1. So what we say, since M1 times M2 is -1, these lines are perpendicular. Everybody understands that?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
All right. Okay, so examples. This is how you would see it. This is how you might see it in a past paper question. So show that the lines y is plus 1 is equal to 4x and x plus 4y is equal to 20 are perpendicular. So the first thing you want to do, you want to write it in the form y is equal to mx plus c. Remember, that's the general equation of a line. This one, hold on, y plus 1 is equal to 4x. So all you have to do is transpose to make y the subject of the formula. Let me just write this out, even though it's right there. So y plus 1 is equal to 4x. We transpose in because we're trying to make y the subject of the formula to get it in this form. So y is equal to, with -1 on both sides. So this becomes 4x minus 1. And that's why our first equation is this. Everybody understands that?
Yes, miss.
Okay, next one. Okay, next one. X plus 4y is equal to 20. Just like before, we're trying to make y the subject of the formula. So I just write in it here. We're trying to make y the subject of the formula. So we would subtract. Hold on, give me a second, please. Okay, we're trying to make y the subject of the formula to get it in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So what we would do in this case, subtract x from both sides. So we end up with 4y is equal to 20 minus x. Now, this is just transposition, right? So you divide this side by 4. So it's 20 minus x on 4. But recall from last class, I told you that you could break up fractions. So this is a single fraction. This right here is a single fraction, but we could break it up into 2 fractions. So this is the same as y is equal to 20 on 4 minus x. Let me just put a quarter x, but we want it in this form, mx plus c. So that's why I have here y is equal to minus a quarter x. So this is my m, x, plus 20 on 4 could be reduced to 5. So plus 5. Everybody understand how I got this second equation?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Right. Second step, identify M1 and M2. So these are the two equations we just got in the form y is equal to mx plus c. And what you do now, you just look at them. So let me just write the general equation again. Y is equal to mx plus c. Just look at these equations and identify m. So in this case, m is 4. So m1 is 4. And in this case, the gradient is minus a quarter. So m2 is minus a quarter. Everybody understands how I identify the gradients, right?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Right. And the third and final step. Why do I have 2 and minus 2 here? Anyways, I need to change that too. It's not this. The gradient is 4, so m1 is 4 times m2 minus a quarter. I could cancel the 4s to get minus 1. So you have to put this statement here. If they ask you to show that the lines are perpendicular, you have to put this statement. M1 times M2 is equal to minus 1. Therefore, this means therefore, these lines are perpendicular, right? You have to put this. If they ask you to show it, you have to put this statement. Everybody understands that, right? We're going to practice now.
Yes, miss.
Understand? All right. And that's it, That's all you have to do. Okay, past paper question. Before we do that, let me do, hold on, I'm muted. Okay, before we do that past paper question, no, I want to do the second one with you. So we could do the second one together. In this example, they give me the first equation as, hold on. The first equation is y plus 2x. That's a 2. X is equal to 5. And then they give me the other equation as 2y plus 6 is equal to x. and they want me to show that these lines are perpendicular. Anybody? Can you tell me what's the first step? What we were doing just now. What was the first step?
To write each equation in the form of y equals mx plus c.
Y equals mx plus c. Good job. So I subtract 2x on both sides. So this would be 5 minus 2x. But remember, we want it in this form. So we could rewrite this as y is equal to minus 2x plus 5. That's just translation. The next one, can anybody tell me what I would write here? Trying to make y the subject. Anybody? All right,
This will be y equals a half minus 3.
Y is equal to a half minus 3. Good job. Y is equal to a half.
Sorry, a half x.
Minus 3. Anybody who doesn't understand how we got that? So 2y plus 6 is equal to x. I carry across the 6. So this y is equal to x minus 6. 2 multiplies on this side, will divide on this side. So x minus 6 on 2. But remember, we could break up this fraction. So it becomes y is equal to a half x minus 6 on 2. But we know 6 on 2 could be reduced to 3. And that's why I have, therefore, y is equal to a half x minus 3. This is correct. Right? So just showing you, in case anybody didn't understand how we got that. Okay. Who remembers what's the second step?
M1 multiplied by M2.
One, and actually, you're right there, but let me just take it step by step. Then you want to identify M1 and M2. And then the third step, we would show that if M1 times M2 is equal to minus 1, then they're perpendicular. Okay. So looking at this one, this equation here, can anybody tell me what M1 is?
-2.
-2. Good job. And M2?
-1/2.
No, that's not a negative sign, it's just a half. All right. And the last step is to show if they are perpendicular. So M1 times M2. If they're perpendicular, then M1 times M2 would be equal to minus 1. Or M1 is 2, minus 2, sorry, times M2 is a half. And this is equal to minus 1. Remember, always write your statement. Let me do it in. Always write your statement. Therefore, it's my therefore sign. No, M1 times M2 is equal to minus 1. Therefore, the lines, so I'm gonna just put lines, are perpendicular. I'm gonna just do this to represent perpendicular. So everybody understands that, right? Because I'm going to make you do some by yourself now. You good?
Yeah, miss.
Yes, miss.
All right. See, not too difficult. Okay, now you try this one by yourself. Y plus 2 is equal to 3x. And the other equation, 3y plus x is equal to 3. I want you to show that these lines are perpendicular. When you finish, let me know. no, when you finish, private message me. So the answer is yes, they're perpendicular, or no, they're not perpendicular. So when you finish, I want you to tell me privately, message me privately. All right, everybody else almost finished? I got answers from 2 people. Just let me know if they're perpendicular or not. Okay, so because of time, I need to move on. But while I explain it, feel free to tell me your answer. Are they perpendicular or not? Right. First step, we want to write it in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So looking at this first equation, this would be y is equal to 3x minus 2 on both sides is minus 2. That's the 2. That's my first equation. Next equation, 3y minus x on both sides. So this becomes 3 minus x. Divide this
Miss,
side
I'm
by
not seeing the writing on the board.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. Right. So this is the first equation in the form y is equal to mx plus c. Y plus 2 equals 3x becomes y equals y equals 3x minus 2 because we minus 2 on both sides. Now onto this one, 3y plus x is equal to 3. So 3y is equal to 3 minus x. Why? Because we minus x on both sides. Now we have to divide this side by 3 here. So it's 3 minus x on 3. But remember, the single fraction could be broken up into two separate fractions. So that's 3 on 3 minus, you can write this as a third x. Remember, we want it in the form mx plus c. So therefore, this could be written as minus a third x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that's plus 1. So this is my first equation. This is my second equation. Looking at this first equation, we could see that m1 is 3. This is m is 3. M2 is minus a third. Minus a third. And the third and final step is to show whether they're perpendicular or not. If they're perpendicular, then m1 times m2 would be equal to minus 1. m1 is 3, and m2 is minus a third. So 3 times minus a third, we can cancel these 3's, which is equal to minus 1. And since m1 times m2 equals minus 1, remember your statement, m1 times m2 equal minus 1. Therefore, this is the therefore symbol. The lines are perpendicular. But you should write a leave there. Right. Everybody got this?
Yes, miss.
That's one
Wow.
person.
Yes, ma'am.
Most of it.
That's good. So you understand where you went wrong now, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, that's what's most important. Okay, now this one is a past paper question. So they told you that these equations, x plus 3y is equal to 6. And they said that kx plus 2y is equal to 12. They told you that these lines are perpendicular, and what they want you to do is find the value of k. So I want you to do that for me, please. If anybody wanted to know, this was paper 2. I was trying to see after in Google Classroom, but it's paper 2, 2014, number 3A. Right? They said that these two lines are perpendicular and they want you to find the value of k. When you finish, private message me a value of k. Same steps you're following, huh? Don't be intimidated. Don't forget to private message me your answer for the value of k. Okay, I need to continue now because we're running out of time. We only have a little over 8 minutes left for this Zoom meeting. Okay, but feel free to message me your answer while I'm going through. Okay, first step, y is equal to mx plus c, so this becomes 3y is equal to minus x plus 6, y is equal to minus a third x plus 2. That's my first one. My second one, 2y is equal to minus kx plus 12. So y is equal to minus k on 2 x plus 6. Everybody got these two equations? Let me highlight them. You see what I'm talking about? These are my two equations. Everybody got these two? You don't need to unmute your mic. You could text in the chat if you got it, yes or no. If you're confused about anything so far, let me know. So you got these two equations?
No, miss. But after watching it, I now understand why I went wrong.
All right, cool. How did you get 6? You mean the second equation here? How I got 6 right here? Yeah? Okay. Let me go through this one step by step. Oh no. Come on. So this is still my first equation. I'm just going through the other one step by step. All right, so we're trying to make y the subject of the formula to get it into this form. So 2y is equal to, we minus kx on both sides. So it's 12 minus kx. We have to divide, since it's multiplying on this side, we need to divide both sides by 2. So y is equal to 12 minus kx divided by 2. This single fraction could be broken up into two other fractions. So y is equal to 12 on 2 minus, this could be written as k on 2x. But I want mx plus c, not c plus 2, not c plus mx. So this could be written as, therefore, y is equal to minus k on 2x and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So plus 6. And that's how I did that. Understand now? Just let me know. Yes. Okay, you understand. Cool. The next step is to identify M1 and M2. Looking at this one, M1 is minus a third. M2, don't be confused just because it has a K in there. It's still, my gradient is still this. So M2 is minus K on 2. Minus K on 2. Right, third and final step. They already told me that M1 and M2 are perpendicular. So I know for a fact that M1 times M2 would be equal to minus 1. So all I have to do now, simple. M1 is minus a third, so I put minus a third there, times M2. We said M2 is minus K on 2. Minus K on 2. And because they already told us that these two lines are perpendicular, we know for a fact that the product of minus a third and minus K on 2 would be equal to minus 1. And all we have to do now is find for K. Everybody understands that, right?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
All right, if I lost you anyway, just let me know. I need to erase this. This is okay if I erase this? I need some space to write.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can any, no, don't tell me. Right. So if I multiply these two, minus a third and minus K on 2, minus 1 times minus K, that's K, because we know minus and a minus is a plus. And 3 by 2 is 6. So K on 6 is equal to minus 1. I'm trying to make K the subject of the formula because we're trying to find K. Since I'm dividing K on this side, I will multiply. Since I'm dividing 6 on this side, I'll multiply by 6. So this becomes K is equal to minus 1 times 6. And minus 1 times 6 is minus 6. And that's why K is equal to minus 6. That's my answer. Minus 6. Everybody understands that? People who didn't answer me, you understand how K is equal to minus 6?
Yes, miss.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
miss.
one person. 2, can I have one more person answering? One more person answer me. You understand?
Yes, miss.
Yeah, miss.
All right. Okay, so I have more questions for you. Let's try. Okay. We did that one already. We did this one already. So you're doing number 5 now. That's the one we're doing. But if you finish before I'm ready to correct, you can move on to number 6 if you want to. But if this looks a bit challenging, you could wait until I go through it. Question? You have a question? Okay. We have less than a minute to rejoin.